I started in a subway station, my shoes scuffed from years of walking between shifts, my dreams barely flickering in the dim light of a flickering bulb. I remember the smell of damp concrete mixing with the scent of stale coffee from a nearby vendor, the distant roar of trains echoing like the heartbeat of the city that never paused. I was just a teller then, a small piece in a vast machine that chewed up and spat out hopes like mine every day. But I held on to a secret ambition deep in my chest, a fire that refused to die, even in the darkest hours. I knew I was meant for more. I could feel it in my bones. Fast forward a few years, I clawed my way into the corporate world, climbing rung after rung, always hiding my true potential behind a polite smile and careful words. Every rejection, every condescending glance from those who thought a girl from the subway had no place in the glass towers of Manhattan only fueled me. I watched the senior executives, their arrogance thick as their wallets, and fought, one day I will be standing where they are, not just behind the desk. I worked tirelessly, secretly investing in courses, reading every financial report like a detective hunting for clues, and smiling at the right moments to hide my growing power. Then came the day I finally bought the branch. It was late at night when I made the offer. Heart pounding so loud I thought the entire city might hear it. I had saved every penny, hidden away from prying eyes, and now I was ready to strike. The board laughed at first, called me audacious, just a teller dreaming of empire. But I knew better. I knew that the real game was about patience, strategy, and silence. I bought the branch with money no one knew I had, and I turned my quiet ambition into a roaring success. That day, I didn't just buy a building. I bought my freedom, my justice, my place in the world. And through it all, I kept my secret wealth hidden, my true power cloaked in humility, so no one could see what I had become. But just as I reveled in my victory, life threw a curveball. The man I loved, the one I thought I could trust with my soul, betrayed me in the cruelest way. He called off our wedding a week before the date, whispering apologies that felt hollow as he looked away. I remember the tears that blurred my vision, the hollow ache in my chest that no amount of money could heal. I had given him everything, my heart, my trust, my future, and he had taken it all and thrown it aside like a discarded note. I was shattered, furious, and betrayed, but I refused to let him see my pain. Instead, I turned that heartbreak into fuel. I realized that love, real love, was a game I was better off winning on my own terms. I poured my energy into my work, into my empire, into building a life where no one could take away my power again. I learned that betrayal is a lesson in disguise, a cruel teacher that makes you sharper, colder, more calculated. And so I built my fortress higher, not just in the boardroom, but in my soul. But the greatest twist came when I discovered the truth. He had been cheating on me with someone close, someone I once trusted. That revelation was a dagger, but also a liberation. I saw that he was not worth the tears or the sleepless nights. I began to see that justice doesn't always come in the form of courtroom victories or public shouts. Sometimes it's in the silent strike, the quiet retribution that leaves your enemies reeling. I secretly invested millions into assets, into ventures he never knew about, preparing the final blow. When I finally divorced him in the boardroom, I didn't just end a marriage. I severed a chain that had kept me shackled. I wrote my own rules, my own will, ensuring that no one could ever control or betray me again. My journey from a humble teller to a woman who owns the skyline was paved with betrayal, deception, and the brutal truth that sometimes to win, you must play dirty. Now, as I sit here, looking out over the city that built me, I know that every scar, every heartbreak and every secret has made me stronger. I am the master of my destiny, the architect of my empire, and no one will ever take that away from me. If you love Helena's journey, like and subscribe to join her next chapter.